All right, guys, the NFL playoffs is starting soon, so I'm going to give my predictions. I know I play Madden, and I know I play 2K and stuff like that, even though I haven't played 2K in a while. But I assume if you watch me play Madden, if you watch 2K videos, if you watch FIFA videos, the one time I played FIFA, you must watch the sport. You must watch the NFL. You must watch NBA. And you know what? I feel like I haven't given many takes. A couple times I've given takes. But you know what? We're going to predict the playoffs. We're going to predict who's going to the Super Bowl.
My unbiased review.
And also, I got a couple takes, maybe a couple rants. I feel like I got it stored up in me. All right, I got a couple things I got to talk about for this season. But we will be doing that. We will be giving our takes as we go along, okay? All right, guys, so I'm going to start with the AFC because I feel like the NFC is a little bit more interesting this year because I guess the teams are just harder. Anyways, let's go. First match, Patriots, Chargers. Look, man, I'm a Justin Herbert supporter. I'm a Justin Herbert guy. I don't buy the Justin Herbert hate. You know, the if man jokes. I'm not buying the if man jokes because it really is if. This man has the worst O-line in the league this year. He's taken probably the most sacks this year. Maybe it's in that range, top 3, top 5, most taken sacks. Also on top of that, Lad McConkey, bro, you're supposed to be his wide receiver #1. I don't know what kind of down season he was having this year. But Justin Herbert, he's been in the playoffs a couple times, even though, you know, he hasn't won. Drake May hasn't been in the playoffs. Even though the Patriots pass rush isn't that impressive, every time I've watched the Chargers game, I have just seen Justin Herbert get teared up, especially in that Texans game. They were stopping Omarion Hampton, Justin Herbert. They couldn't do run game. They couldn't do the pass game. Nothing was working. But now I look at the Patriots, man. It's home field advantage. I think the Patriots just have a lot of momentum going on right now their way. I'm gonna just take the Patriots, man. They got the Bills and Jaguars. I don't even know who's the favorite for this game. The Jaguars' momentum is insane. Besides Liam Cohen, I don't know what's the branding to the Jaguars. I don't know if it's their offense. I don't know if it's their defense. I looked at the Jaguars and I really thought they were frauds, but there are a lot of teams that were just different from the beginning of the season. Now they're a completely different team. The Jaguars were okay in the beginning of the season. Now they're a different team. Now they're showing dominance. They're blowing out teams. They blew out the Chargers, which are in the playoffs. But look, man, this is the playoffs where Josh Allen, there's no Patrick Mahomes. This might be his only shot. But I look at the Bills this season. There's not a single win besides week 1 that I've been impressed with the Bills. When I was watching the Bills and Eagles game, I'm like, this is an important game. It's an important game to prove how you're going to perform in the playoffs. The Eagles, top team, they're coming off winning the Super Bowl last season. The Bills, you got to show up. Josh Allen, you have to show up, bro. The Eagles defense cooking Josh Allen like, Josh Allen, you gotta step up late in the season. That's an important game. Division, you still have the possibility to win the AFC East and you don't show up. I don't know what's going on. I think entering this playoffs, this might be the Bills' worst season yet entering the playoffs. Man, this is supposed to be the year. There's no Patrick Mahomes. They should have an easy ride. But the Jaguars being at home, being on the roll, yeah, go ahead, give me the Jags, man. Pittsburgh, Texans. I kind of think this is like a no-brainer. I'm gonna pick the Texans. I've seen a couple people pick the Steelers because they're at home, and they're saying based off like the Ravens win, they got something going. I don't see Aaron Rodgers. I don't see the Texans defense treating him lightly. All right, I'm gonna just say that. All right, so we're gonna go to the NFC wild card. Packers and Bears. Packers were actually a team to me that I really saw throughout the season being a possible Super Bowl contender. I look at the Packers and I'm like, that's a team with the most depth. You pick up Micah Parsons and then you got the core receivers. Nothing is forced with those receivers. I feel like that's just been a staple of the Packers. I saw with Aaron Rodgers back in the day, he didn't have any superstar named receivers. I guess Jordy Nelson had like what, a 1,500-yard season, which was really good, but he didn't have any forced options. You look at like other big name receivers, things got to be forced to them. But with the Packers in general, it hasn't been that case with Aaron Rodgers, and it hasn't been that case with Jordan Love. Jordan Love has good options, but I think really here the injuries is what gets to them, man. Like I said, I looked at the Packers and I'm like, that's a complete team. But it's like when they lock in, there's a couple games I didn't see them lock in. The Eagles game, they didn't lock in. And just injuries again. Jordan Love, the last time he played was against the Bears, and now he's playing against the Bears. Look, it's one thing to come off a bye week, but I think coming straight off an injury and going right into a game and coming back to the same team you faced and they're at home, I don't know, man. I look at the Bears and it kind of remind me of the Commanders last season. Though I think the Bears are moving like off a more legit team. Like you got Ben Johnson, legit coach. Now you're looking at Dan Quinn. He's not really legit now. But Caleb Williams too. That guy is crazy. I've seen people try and call him a game manager. I think it was Cam Newton. Yeah, that's just crazy. Caleb Williams, the way he's been making plays recently, there's no way he's a game manager. I mean, the Bears just have to get the run game rolling how they have with Mangani and DeAndre Swift. I think the Bears got this one, man. All right, 49 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't think of a time I've seen Brock Purdy play good in the cold. When has Brock Purdy played good in the cold? I might be missing a game, but I don't remember him ever playing in the cold. I always see him play bad in the cold. Even though the Eagles are definitely playing a little bit worse season, I think Saquon in the playoffs might pop off. I think this is the playoffs where he pops off. Even though he's been good in the regular season, it's just not as good as his last season. He's gonna get into the playoff DNA. He's got it instilled in him. He won the Super Bowl. But also, if the Eagles want to win, AJ Brown has to shut up. AJ Brown rather have receptions than wins. Look at this 3-game losing streak for the Eagles. You know who led these games in receiving for the Eagles? AJ Brown. When your whole offense is focused on forcing AJ Brown the ball because he will cry if he doesn't get it, that will lose you games. This team has weapons everywhere. Realistically, any of these superstars could complain, but they don't because it's stupid. But AJ Brown is the only person on the Eagles that does this. We have seen this case with many diva star receivers wanting things forced their ways. But buddy, it does not help you win games. So don't let the 49ers catch you by surprise because the offense is not working. The only thing that the 49ers have on a roll is Kyle Shanahan. The thing he did with Mac Jones, that's crazy. That's incredible what he did. I got to give my credits to Kyle Shanahan. He's a good coach. But yeah, I got the Eagles. And then we got the Panthers and the Rams. Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams, man. I just don't see the Panthers winning at all. I'm very happy for Bryce Young. He's going to at least get that taste of the playoffs. But yeah, there's just no way the Panthers win. If they win, that would be very nice. That would be very cool. But yeah, I just don't see it. And just the fact that the Rams already lost to the Panthers in the regular season, I don't see it happening. They got them figured out. There's no way the Rams are going to take like 2 losses to the Panthers. I got the Texans and the Broncos. Now I got a bone to pick with 2 of these teams, okay? First of all, with the Broncos, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. I'm just not a fan of Sean Payton. Sean Payton is one of the only outdated coaches that has not received any criticism. But before I evaluate on that, I'm going to talk about the thing I have with the Texans. The Texans got in a close game just last week. What, with the Colts? Riley Leonard? That's unacceptable. That's a rookie and you're letting it be this much? Yeah. I mean, it was a good win, but there's no reason you should be close with them. You got in a close game with the Raiders. I'm very impressed by the win streak that D'Amico Ryans has been putting up, the kind of team he's been putting together. But I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. There's just like, yo, you cannot get close with the Raiders. You cannot let it be that close of a tight game. I'm still impressed by their defense, but that's just a little weird to me. It's something to take note going into the playoffs. But who do I pick? I'm gonna pick the Texans, man, and let me tell you why. This is the playoffs where Sean Payton is getting exposed. Whether it's in this round that I predict he's gonna take an L in, or the conference championship, if he gets to the Super Bowl, I do not see the Broncos getting to the Super Bowl. The Broncos record has convinced people that Sean Payton is a good coach. Sean Payton, you are not Adam Gase, okay? You cannot run an outdated scheme of offense for a young QB like Bo Nix. I'm sorry. Last year, you lose 31-7 with the best defense. I'm not expecting you to like beat the Bills, but I'm not expecting you to get shut out that hard with the best defense in the league. Sean Payton is a Mike McCarthy with better luck. He refuses to adapt. There is a reason he panics and looks for a scapegoat when things go wrong. He is the sole reason the Saints have been in shambles. He peeped how dysfunctional he was and bailed on them. He did this so his image wouldn't suffer, so his record wouldn't suffer, and made sure nobody would notice. I noticed. And that's why I'm not on the Bo Nix hate train yet. I've seen Bo Nix kind of play a little sloppy sometimes, but I'm not on that hate train yet. The Bo Nix that was at Oregon, that's a different guy. The Bo Nix that ran an 80-yard touchdown, that's a different guy. I need to see that Bo Nix. He's playing modernized football at Oregon. Imagine you immediately join the Broncos and Sean Payton, who hasn't adapted yet, who refuses to adapt, along with a lot of other older coaches, coaches you. Look, man, I'm early, but I'm not wrong. Just watch. I hope this is a playoffs where people can point out, hey, Sean Payton's tripping, man. There's just a whole lot of other old coaches. John Harbaugh, he just recently got fired. That's something that needed to happen. Mike Tomlin needs to get fired. I don't know what he does. He does this little trick with people. Oh, Mike Tomlin, there we go. They won. They're 10-7. He does it every year right before he hits the 9-8, 10-7 mark. They're like, yeah, Mike Tomlin, he's got to go. He's got to go. Last 2 games of the season, he locks in, gets those wins. Make sure he has a winning record. 9-8, 10-7. Bam, Mike Tomlin does it again. It's another winning record for the Steelers. It's like, what are you, like, You're a fool. How do you let this happen again this year? The amount of hype I've been seeing for Mike Tomlin after the Ravens game, it's ridiculous, man. He does this every year, and guess what? He's gonna lose in the wild card. I don't understand this, man. They play with outdated schemes. It's a new game. You have to adapt. Pete Carroll, I was saying he needed to get fired, and he did. I was very happy that he left the Seahawks, but at the same time, I had a lot of respect for him whenever it was the older times with the Seahawks because it worked. Now it doesn't work. The game is different. Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, they are amazing scouts, but they cannot coach no more. Please, Sean Payton, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, go work in the front office and be a scout because you can do that. They're actually really talented at that. I mean, just think of the Devin Witherspoon and JSN pick. Pete Carroll, boom. Pete Carroll, John Schneider working together with that. Boom. It worked. But yeah, man, I am just done with these whole outdated coaches. It's not that all old coaches are bad, but I noticed this pattern with the older coaches. You cannot work with these young players. But anyways, yeah, I'm taking the Texans. This is going to be a defensive game, and I think it's going to be probably close, but I'm taking the Texans. Now we're going to go to the Jaguars and the Patriots. Like I said, I don't know. The Jaguars are a very unpredictable team. Just how I mentioned, I'm a Justin Herbert guy. I'm also a Drake May guy. I see Drake May make amazing passes. He has so much skill. Trevor Lawrence, though, he's also been playing really good recently. He's improved recently. And Liam Cohen, what he's done, he stepped up. I don't think many people saw that coming. I like what Mike Vrabel has done. When the Titans fired Mike Vrabel, that to me, I don't think I'll ever be more shocked at reading NFL news than that day. That was the dumbest thing. But I look at the Patriots, I don't know. Is their whole thing, is it Josh McDaniels, what he's doing and the coaching with Drake May? I don't know, man. But maybe this is the game where it's stamped. I'm kind of reaching a point where I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm gonna pick the Patriots, okay? All right, Seahawks and Rams. This is probably gonna be like the must-watch game. What the Rams have been doing the last couple of weeks, it's a little bit, I mean, you cannot lose to the Falcons. What Earl Thomas say? You gotta go through Seattle! Yeah, guys, you cannot. I think this is where the home advantage comes to play. See, this isn't just a regular season game. This is a playoff game. Seahawks at home in the playoffs, that's just something you cannot mess with. I think that's where they have the edge. The Seahawks defense also has the edge there. I think just after that match in Thursday night, they made a lot of mistakes on the defense. They're gonna lock in now. They're coming off a bye week. There's a lot of advantages for the Seahawks here. I'm just not buying the Matt Stafford hype. I'm not. And mind you, Matt Stafford, there is not one. He is not the MVP. I'm gonna say it. He's not. There's not one point in the season that I said to myself and I believed, yeah, Matt Stafford is for sure the MVP. I never falled for that bait. That's fake. And he might win it. I don't care. That's going to be even more fraudulent than last year. First, it's the goal line fading thing. You're spamming that. I mean, look at Devontae Adams' yards to touchdown ratio. He leads the league in touchdown. Oh my goodness. This is the biggest bait. That's why you cannot be picked. Do the NFL, do they just not watch the game? Do they see the stats and come to the conclusion? Yeah. Matt Stafford is an over-glorified system QB. I am not impressed with Matthew Stafford. When you come into the best offensive team, you come into a team with superstars handed to you. You're spoon-fed. You're in a Sean McVay system. You are a over-glorified system QB. People saw him. Matt Stafford. He made a couple like throws like this. Oh my gosh. Matt Stafford is. Oh my gosh. No. Matt Stafford needs things spoon-fed to him. Like I said, he's an over-glorified system quarterback. I'm not buying Matt Stafford hype. They really saw him throw 4 touchdowns against the Cardinals. What was 1 or 2 of them being in the goal line, and we're like, oh, he's the MVP again. I'm not buying him. Drake May is the MVP. People are always like, well, Drake May is not the MVP because the Patriots easy schedule. Who cares when Matt Stafford cannot show up against the worst division to lose to the Falcons, to lose to the Panthers? I don't care if the schedule is this and that. That's why I'm very excited to watch the Patriots in the playoffs. I don't really care about the whole, they got an easy schedule. I would just wait and I would just watch the playoffs. I see how they're dominating games. I'm seeing that. I'm peeping that. And I know that the Patriots, they're a legit team. Drake May is just the MVP. I mean, just looking at his completion percentage, this guy in his second year, this already puts him at top 5 all-time completion percentage. This man is his accuracy, it's up there with Drew Brees. He makes MVP plays. I see it. But yeah, I had to go on a rant. Matt Stafford's career is not all that impressive to me. The only thing that's impressive to me is that the fact that he's 37 and he can play. Eagles, Bears. This is where I say Caleb Williams is going to learn. He's getting that playoff experience. This is where it's like, your time is done. I'm gonna have to pick the Eagles. I think this is the game where playoff experience beats them. This is where it's going to beat them. I think this is going to be a good loss for Caleb Williams. I do see the way Caleb Williams has played this year is phenomenal. But like I said, this is where the experience comes into play. So we got the AFC Championship, the NFC Championship, Texans, Patriots. Now, I was really seeing the Texans go far, Super Bowl, defense. But like I said, those last couple of games threw me off. And I think the fact that CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, all at the same time joined the team, 3 straight years, you're in the playoffs. That does so much for you. I see the pattern where teams, they get that playoff experience, they get in that environment, and they just get so much better when it comes to the playoffs. But they were pretty mid last year in the regular season, but they kind of shot people in the playoffs. They beat the Chargers. They didn't play too bad against the Chiefs. There were a couple flags, you know, here and there. This is really, my answer on this could really change depending on how these both teams are performing in the playoffs. If they reach this point, if they reach the AFC Championship, my answer could really change. If the Texans were getting ugly wins throughout the playoffs, I'm easily saying the Patriots. But if the Patriots are getting ugly wins throughout this playoffs, I'm picking the Texans. But as of right now, I think I'm gonna just take Drake May. Mike Vrabel has also been in this position before with the Titans. This is very close, but all right, Eagles, Seahawks. I could give you the easy answer and be like, yeah, the Seahawks, they own the Eagles. The Seahawks are 8-0 in their last 8 games against the Eagles. I could give you the easy answer and say that, but I think what I saw with Jalen Hurts in that Chargers game, that is engraved in my mind. That was the funniest game I watched, and I'm just like, I don't know how Jalen Hurts is gonna play against the defense. And people forget the Seahawks D-line, Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed. These guys, man, they're playing with heart and they're stopping that run defense. You saw what they did to Christian McCaffrey in Week 18. And just mentioning how good the run defense is with Seattle, this is a game where Jalen Hurts has to step up. I remember in Super Bowl 59, I thought that if the Chiefs could stop the run game with Saquon, it should be an easy dub with them. But I was wrong. The fact that Chiefs had a whole game plan and a scheme for a week to think of to limit Saquon to like 2 yards per carry in that game, that's amazing. But the fact that the Eagles still won, to me, is even crazier. Because yes, I get it, while their defense were so insane that game, you have to give immense respect to Jalen Hurts being the one who stepped up on that offense in the biggest game of his life, making all these deep balls, all these kind of plays. I think people forget about that too much. You gotta give Jalen Hurts respect for that, and this is a game where he needs to do the same exact thing. But with the looks of how he's played this season, I don't think he's gonna be able to do it again, unfortunately. You know, if you're an Eagles fan, I'm gonna take the Seahawks, man, because look, I think that the Eagles, I don't see them making it back to back. They've had a little sloppy games in the regular season. The Seahawks have had plenty of sloppy games, but they've won those sloppy games. What, against the Colts? They were very sloppy on offense. That's how good the defense has been for the Seahawks. They had very sloppy game against what, probably the 3rd or 2nd best team that, you know, you could say was in the NFC, the Rams. That first sloppy game, it came down to a field goal that Jason Myers had to kick. It shouldn't have come that close. Once again, that's how good the Seahawks defense has been. So like I said, I'm taking the Seahawks. Patriots, Seahawks Super Bowl rematch of Super Bowl 49. I'm gonna just give you the straight up, who am I picking? Give me the Seattle Seahawks. People were saying we were gonna be last. People were saying we're not this. Sam Darnold can't show up, this, that. The Seahawks are #1 seed. People doubted. I'm not buying it. Seahawks are they're getting their rematch. They're getting their get back. I need this rematch to happen. You don't know how bad I need this rematch to happen. 9-year-old me would be rejuvenated. I think I have some like kind of post-traumatic stress. I have that from this game. But no, all jokes aside, I really do think this is a legitimate matchup. I really do think it. And I think that the Seahawks beat them here. Once again, the defense. Playing tough defenses back-to-back games, that's not going to be easy. I'm taking the Seahawks in the Super Bowl 49 rematch. Everybody keeps down the Seahawks. Whenever they beat the Rams, yeah, the Rams are still I'm going to still pick them as Super Bowl favorites. 49. Why were the 49ers like on ESPN Analytics? They were favored to win in Week 18. Why was that? Why was that? Seahawks beat the 49ers. I'm still taking the Rams to win this. Yo, just stop it. Stop doubting us. This is just a legitimate team. Every year they've been the #1 seed. What, 2005, 2013, 2014? They've been to the Super Bowl. This is a year they're going to the Super Bowl. The home field advantage is really what's going to carry them here, as well as their defense. But seriously, I'm taking, this isn't a Nick Eman this is still like my Russell Wilson jersey. It's not a Nick Eman jersey, even though he should get a defense rookie there. Really, I'm really picking the Seahawks. I think they have proved themselves. I don't know how much more they have to prove. I think Sam Darnold has learned in those past couple weeks to just let the defense do the job, and he just has to do the bare minimum. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He's been trying to do that. He tried to do that in the first Rams game. He's throwing unnecessary passes, trying to make superstar plays, but now he's learning his role. Anyways, yeah, second ring for the Seahawks. Please, I need this. If the Rams win the Super Bowl, I'll lose my mind. I won't even mention the 49ers because I'm not worried. They're not going to go.